Alright, just got back from a case tournament yesterday. Built this deck the morning of, was working on it in the car. Never played Spright before. A little bit online, so I know the combos at least, but pure theory, I got first place after Swiss. I was the only undefeated. Won top 8, and unfortunately lost in top 4 just to Mystic Mine. Game 3, I got all my outs, Solemn Judgment, and decked out. Games 2 and 3, that's exactly how it went. I just got all my outs, Solemn Judgment, and decked out. I didn't play very many outs because I didn't really respect it. Didn't expect to play against it, but it happened. But deck just slays all the meta decks. It's too good. Big shout out to Jack Ramsey for letting me borrow all the cards. Thank you. But yeah, I'm gonna profile it. I have a really cool game plan that I wanted to share. It worked really well. 3 Beaver. Played this over Diva because I play Desires. So if like you play Diva and you banish one, you can't like Toad add back Diva for follow up. But with Beaver you can, and that did come up once. So I'm happy I played this. The like Hulk into Diva never came up, so yeah, 3 Beaver. And then the adding a hand trap like plays into Nib, so I didn't want to do that. 3 Swap, 3 Blue, 3 Jet, and 3 Starters. Yeah, these are all your broken cards, and then the one-ofs for the engine are Red, Carrot, Pixies, Ronin, and Smashers. Only one of each. I just like, it's just not worth it to me to play like more Smashers and more Red, because they're just like bricks, right? So yeah, Pixies is actually necessary in this build because what I'm doing, talk about it more when I get to the extra deck, I suppose, but I'm trying to end on Masquerena plus Elf and then go into 0 Boros on my opponent's turn to banish the whole field. So I'll talk about that more when I get to the extra deck, kind of explain why, but the Pixies is necessary because you end up like, when you do that, there's lots of times where you're searching this off of blue so that you can protect Masquerena and Elf from getting attacked over, which is really strong. And then 2 Desires. This is just better than Prosperity in my opinion because it's another power card. Like Prosperity is 1-for-1, and if you combo, you go through all of your power cards. So Prosperity is always just kind of searching a hand trap at that point, and a lot of people aren't really playing hand traps. Like the most popular deck, Danger Tier, doesn't really play hand traps, so you typically do get to go through all of these just through like 1 Beaver will access like Beaver plus like anything accesses all of them. So like Prosperity, like this I'd rather just get the draw 2. I never cared about what I banished, literally never. I activated this, you know, every round, and it never like screwed me. I was able to win every of those. Like there were times where it's like, oh, I kind of wish I had something like I banished like 2 Jet or something, but it never actually made me lose. So I think it's definitely worth it. And then yeah, hand traps are 2 Ash, 2 Ogre, and 2 Ghost Mourner. I didn't want to draw multiples, so I just cut them all to 2 because they're hard ones per turns. If you're playing as Danger Tier, you need every interruption you can on their turn going second because their board is so crazy. So like drawing, and then in the mirror, right, like if you have more cards than your opponent, same thing, like Desires helps this. If you can just like keep trading down and you have more cards, you'll end up on top. So legitimately, if you draw like 2 Ash or 2 Ogre, that can actually lose you the game against both the big meta decks, just because of how important it is to have a diversified hand trap lineup in hand. And 3 Nibiru, you have to play 3 of this. There's nothing else like it. It's so powerful. It plus another hand trap just like wins the game a lot of the time. This was crazy, like every round. So yeah, even alone sometimes it's really good. Like I played in top 8. I played against the Evil Twin Spright deck, and he like started with the Evil Twin stuff and like went to the Evil Twin combo first, which plays in a nib. So like just like Evil Twin combo kept going, and I just nibbed him, and then like I just had 4 engine cards, so I won. So yeah, like there's times where it's just like if your hand's like doesn't have enough non-engine, you have to like just play into the Nibiru, right? And then if I have it, you just lose. But this plus another hand trap against like anything is also just game. And then 3 Crow, 3 Veiler, 3 Imperm. All these aren't hard ones per turn, so you can play 3 of them. So 18 hand traps, 40 cards even. Wouldn't change a single thing. I think this like main deck is basically perfect. You could play Divas over Beavers if you really wanted to, but I like the Beavers. 2 Gigantic, 1 Toad, 1 Cat Shark. This, like, I think I summoned it like once, and it didn't matter. This should have been a Gusta Phoenix. I didn't have one, but I'm playing the Pixies, and I definitely summoned some really big nib tokens to potentially go for the, like, Gusta Phoenix Pixies play over the nib token for game. So yeah, this is just definitely, like, this should be Gusta Phoenix in this build. Centauria, Downerd, Zeus, Double Elf. Yeah, third never came up. Dark, Almirage, Nightmare Phoenix, this was really good. It only came up once, but it came up for the exact interaction I played it for, which is where, which was to out Super Poly, like a set Super Poly against Chairlament. I nibbed him, and then he set Super Poly, and I was able to just summon a monster, link away the nib and the monster into Phoenix. Just, you know, they never expected either, which is a really cool thing. And just hit the Super Poly away, and then just summon a Spright and like keep going. So yeah, I definitely recommend this. Masquerena, of course, for the game plan, and then I play it with Unicorn and Zero Boros. I think Unicorn only came up like once, and I didn't really need it. So yeah, it's really, you're just like always masquerading this, and that's the crazy thing, right? Is nobody expects this, because like I don't know why, but I haven't seen anybody else playing this card in this deck. But yeah, this card is just absolutely insane. You probably don't need Unicorn, because honestly, I just always go into this off IP. I just kind of wanted the extra option, but like this can honestly be this could be like Nightmare Cerberus. This could be the Water Charmer. It could just be a lot of different things that you just don't need. If you want to play Diva, this could be Hulk. But yeah, this card was crazy. So you want to end on Masquerena Elf, right? And basically, like, if you full combo, you end on this with Toad, and you still don't reborn the Toad off Elf. Like, it's just better to like. It's also, if you get Gigantic hand trapped, you just like can typically go into this line, and the idea is, this is why you play Pixies, okay? So you get Gigantic hand trapped, right? If you have, you can have like, you know, either start Jet or Blue. So if you just made like Gigantic somehow with like Beaver, I mean, you know, there's a bunch of different combinations that go into this. This is kind of just an example. It's kind of hard to explain all of them, but the idea is you're either going to be able to resolve Jet or Blue at the end to get like a search. So you'll either search like, so if it's Jet, you can, and you get an extra search, you search an extra starter, because like, I mean, like often that's what happens if you start with starter as your extender after getting Gigantic negated. But if it's like Blue as your extender, or sorry, if Jet is your extender, you Jet into the starter, and then Blue needs to search Pixies. And the idea is, so you search the Pixies so they can't, because if they battle phase, if they just summon a monster battle phase, that's really bad for you, because you don't want to like Zero Boros one thing away. So that's why you can search the Pixies to protect you from that. And typically they're just not even going to attack because they know you have it, but that's fine because this ends up just being follow-up to kill them. But otherwise, say you are able to search an extra starter, because you search starter over Smashers, because you can't Smashers banish one of these. This is even better, because say they try to battle phase force you, especially because people aren't thinking about Zero Boros too much, right? You can just go ahead and use your Elf. You do the Elf IP, because obviously, if you're not aware, the typical thing is Elf, chain IP, make Zero Boros, and then Elf resolve, summoning Jet back, and you get Chainlink 1 Zero Boros to banish the whole field, Chainlink 2 Jet to search, right? So you get a starter for follow-up and banish the whole field. However, if it's this situation, if they ever try to force battle phase, you just do the same thing, except you summon Jet here. Make your Zero Boros, and then just have it sit there. And they're not attacking over this. It's just not happening. And then it's just, whenever you want, then you just starter to trigger it instead, summoning Blue. And the Jet added another starter. So you summon Blue, and then Blue adds another Jet, and then you banish the whole field. And then, like, look at this. You are going to banish the whole field off Zero Boros. Next turn, and you're still going to have your hand traps in hand and everything to stop them from doing more. You summon the Zero Boros back, and then you have this plus whatever you do for turn for follow-up. And this is going to kill them. Like, Zero Boros is going to be like 4,000 attack. If you resolve Desires, an extra 2,000. So it'll be at least like 6,000. And then you just like do this, and it 100%, they're just dead like every time. So it's really cool, because this deck typically has like kind of a hard time, sometimes OTK, like ending the game. But with this line of play, it's really easy to just kill your opponent turn 2. After setting up. So this was really, really, really excellent. Highly, highly recommend. Side deck, Triple Shifter. This was awful for me. I always just like drew it for turn or like off Desires. I never drew it my first 5 cards. I just kept drawing it like afterwards. So, but like I think you still have to play it. Like it's too good against here. But I understand now why like some people don't play it. 3 Gamma and Driver for like the mirror match. So the only card I decided for traps is 2 more Smashers. This is just like the best Mystic Mine now, because you clear your own field and like banish something. So you can like out Mystic Mine and banish another card. And it's engine, so it's searchable, but it wasn't enough. Yeah, I don't know. I'd probably like cut this for Feather Duster, just like because of that matchup. But yeah, this is really cool. It didn't really come up like necessary, but makes things a lot easier with that Zero Boros line too. at times. Like, so this is like, depending on how the format progresses and what the balance is, this ends up potentially being main deck worthy, because in that line where you're like have the starter already, you start into blue in a jet and add this, and like it's just so much damage. It's actually like unbelievable. So yeah, it's a cool card. I don't know, might keep playing it, probably cut it for now, but might go back in. And triple barrier and double anti-spell for going first. Barrier was absolutely bonkers. I didn't really draw anti-spell. I think I drew it like twice. I don't know if I really needed it. But D-barrier was insane. D-barrier was absolutely bonkers, so really happy I played that. Yeah, anti-spell's fine. Like, definitely need to test it more. In theory, it's very, very good. I really like it. So yeah, only changes is this would be a Feather Duster and Cat Shark for Dagosta Phoenix. Potentially you can cut Unicorn. I don't know. It seems like something that might come up just as an extra IP option, since I try to end on it a lot. So yeah, but this could be something else if you really wanted. Other than that, I think the main deck is perfect. I think everything else is just like perfect. I think it's a very, very solid game plan. Much better than like what the other Spright decks are doing. So yep, thanks for watching.